I mean, obviously, very excited to be here today. As we entered into the off season, one of our top priorities and our first order of business was to get Robert back under contract. He had an opportunity last year to pitch in the big leagues, and I think just seeing his progression throughout the season, from the first half of the year to him becoming a regular part of our bullpen to being a force, throughout the second half of the season. You look at the experiences he's had from being in Japan for 7 years and then coming to the States in a new team, new environment. He quickly became a big part of our team, our bullpen. And, for us, obviously, we see him as a real weapon and somebody that can pitch in high leverage situations. And again, like going into the offseason was a huge priority for us. So we're super excited today to have Robert here for the next 5 years. And yeah, I think just want to say congratulations to Robert. He's done great work here over the last 7+ years in his journey from going to Japan and then back to the States. And a person from Bob, myself, Ruben, everybody agreed going into the off season was a huge priority for us.
Yeah, hi Robert. First of all, what went into this decision? What did you like about your year in San Diego that led you to want to come back here?
Qué bien, bien, que me dieron tremenda oportunidad y aunque al principio no fue bien, pude hacer los ajustes y al final pude terminar una buena temporada y agradecido totalmente por eso.
Yeah, I mean, my first year was good. I'm really grateful for the opportunity. Obviously, the year didn't get off to the start that I would have liked, but after making some adjustments, I really think that I settled in and really found my footing here and enjoyed my time here in San Diego.
What do you think allowed you to settle in and find your footing after you went through like the injury and maybe you said it didn't go your way early on?
Mm-hmm.
Todo, un poco de todo. Yo creo que un poco de todo. Algunas cosas en la mecánica, algunas cosas en el plan para lanzar y mejorar cada día. Yo creo que trabajando duro y con buena mentalidad, pues se pudo lograr.
Yeah, I think it was honestly a little bit of everything. I think it was some adjustments that I made, with my mechanics, and then just the plan that was set forth, and sticking to that plan. I think luckily, with the hard work and, just putting everything that I had into my game, I think I was able to turn it around and have a good season.
AJ, to make a commitment like this to someone who's spent a year in the big leagues, like what other factors kind of went into like your confidence in what Robert can do going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part, like, when you're signing a contract, this is the person, and I think from Robert's standpoint, he's somebody, again, that you saw early in the season have some adjustment period. And when you see somebody that comes through that, learns, is open-minded, but, I think somebody that was able to make some real adjustments, somebody that works hard, and again, like for our situation, playing in some really big games down the stretch, Robert showed no fear. He wanted that baseball, down the stretch, pennant race games. And then obviously when you're going into, New York and LA, and Robert's, the guy that we wanted to face, New York, LA, and Philly, we wanted to face, the best parts of the lineup. We wanted to make sure he was in there to face those guys. So I think for all those reasons, you see somebody was able to make some adjustments, somebody that grew throughout the season. And, in the moments that were the most pressure filled, Robert was, he wanted the baseball and was calm and threw the ball great. So I think for all those reasons, it was a situation where we were strong and wanting him back.
AJ, to what extent do you see Robert as your closer in the not too distant future?
Yeah, I think again, if you're going to win a championship, you've got to have a lot of relievers that could pitch late in the game and could pitch that ninth inning. And I think what we saw this year with Robert is he's that type of pitcher. So a high leverage guy. Obviously we've got Josh Hader here, so we've got the luxury of having the best closer in the game or one of the top closers in the game here, and and I think it's a really nice pairing with him and Robert. But again, I think like when you look at the commitment we made, I think we feel like Robert could pitch the 7th, 8th, 9th. He could pitch any of those spots against the best parts of the lineup. And if you're going to the championship, you need to have multiple guys that can do that. We feel like he's more than capable of doing that.
Hey, Robert, what was it after all you went through early in the season that allowed you to have that confidence at the end of the season?
Yo creo que el enfoque que tenía en el juego, el enfoque que tenía en salir cada día y dar el 100%, en ir aprendiendo cosas sobre el juego aquí en las Grandes Ligas y aprendiendo también a a cómo lanzarle a los jugadores, a cómo enfrentar los bateadores, los mejores bateadores, las partes más fuertes del line-up. Yo creo que la confianza también y el enfoque cada día de poder, de creer que se puede hacer el trabajo y venirlo trabajando y salir al juego a ejecutarlo.
Yeah, I think it was my focus. I think the ability to focus in on the game plan and, as the season went on, getting to know opposing hitters, lineups, really just focusing in on strengths and weaknesses of opposing hitters. And I think, that's what really allowed me to have some confidence there towards the end of the season is being able to focus, and kind of just maintain that focus. All right, we'll go to Marty Caswell.
Hi, Robert. How many different teams did you and your agent engage with, and how much did your relationship and your history with AJ factor in staying with the Padres?
Sí, yo creo que no, la primera vez que, pues sí, me imagino que habían varios equipos interesados. Eh, este, Favorablemente pudimos cerrar antes de poder como establecer una negociación oficial con otros equipos, pero había mucho interés y yo estoy agradecido por el equipo por eso y con ella también. Y la relación con ella, es buenísima, a lo mejor. Siempre cuando él puede me da un consejo, siempre trata de darme esa confianza y de hacer creer que se puede y eso es importante para uno sentirlo y saber salir cada día de que te están dando la confianza y puedes hacer el trabajo.
Yeah, so the first part of your question, Marty, as far as other teams go, there was definitely some interest. I think luckily for myself and my agent, we were able to negotiate and get something done here in San Diego before we really engaged in other talks with other teams, which I'm very grateful for. I'm grateful for the opportunity to stay here. And then to the second part of your question, as far as the relationship with AJ and the club, I think that's huge. I think that was a big factor for me. Just the confidence that AJ and the team showed in me, their willingness to stick with me. I think that played a major role in me wanting to stay here. So I'm very grateful, very thankful to AJ, to the organization for their confidence in me and their belief in me.
And how much did you and Nick Martinez stay in touch during this process? And your thoughts on him returning to the Padres?
Sí, muy bien, muy bien. Sí, me felicitó y luego yo también lo felicito a él por quedarse con el equipo. Hay una buena química y un buen compañerismo y yo creo que eso es importante, la comunicación de que tenemos una buena química en el equipo y yo creo que eso lo hace, tenemos tremenda fortaleza en eso.
Yeah, I mean, he congratulated me and, I also congratulated him. And I think, he's a great person, a great teammate. I think above all, we have a really great chemistry dynamic here with the club. And I think that helps, as far as that chemistry and being able to work together, we're super happy for each other. We pull for each other. So, yeah, I'm happy for him and he's happy for me.
Robert, it's been kind of a long baseball journey for you to get here. What does it mean to you to kind of just have these kind of financial assurances, considering kind of the long path you took? Different countries, different places, different leagues to get to the major leagues and now have a contract like this?
Sí, mucho. Yo creo que el esfuerzo tiene su recompensa y la verdad, el recorrido que te digo, ¿sabes? Siempre trato de esforzarme al máximo para tratar de asegurarme con un buen contrato y seguir dando lo mejor de mí. Independientemente del contrato, yo soy 100% competitivo. Me gusta ser competitivo y que las cosas, pues, dar el 100% para que salgan bien. Y bueno, pero contento y emocionado, igual mi familia y agradecido totalmente por esta oportunidad.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, I'm very excited, very grateful for what this means for me and for my family. I think, at the end of the day, the hard work that pays off. And I think for me, aside from the contract, aside from the money, I'm just a competitive person. I'm 100% competitive. So for me, it's all about going out there and competing. And, by competing, if I'm able to provide for my family, provide for my loved ones, and have some security, that means a lot. So again, I'm very grateful, very excited, and very happy.
And AJ, with this now final, kind of how would you size up where your bullpen stands now and what is left to do there? I know you got a lot of big time arms at the back end, but how much work is left to do this offseason?
Yeah, I think we're in a good spot, from the pen. Again, I think, getting Robert in was the priority. And I think, Robert Hader, obviously guys like Tim Hill, Pomeranz coming back, Luis Garcia, the makings of a really strong bullpen. Like Robert said, they have great chemistry. I think the relationship with Ruben and Ben Fritz is a very real one. So again, you're always looking to add, especially bullpen arms, and you get some guys with some different looks. And I think we'll continue to focus on that. But I think that, the heavy lifting with the pen, getting the main pieces in place, we feel good about where it's at, and we'll kind of see how the rest of the offseason plays out from from a pen standpoint.